Live from 58 Dream Street, we're James with Games. Hello folks, happy Saturday. Hope you're all doing well. Weather's pretty nice here, so I'm in a decent mood. Decent enough. Adjust the camera a little. Just a bit. Figuring it out. I got a new chair, but now it's like, oh man, I'm sitting different. Where should the camera be? Am I going to spend more time, like eagerly forwards like this, or am I going to make use of the lumbar support here and the headrest? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But here we are. Week 2, Episode 2, Session 2 of our King's Quest II Romancing the Throne playthrough. Quick recap for anyone not in the know. King Graham has been the king for a year in Daventry. And then he's like, oh man, though, I should have a queen. And then he's like, hey, mirror, what do you think? And then his magic mirror is like, look, there's an attractive lady in a tower in the kingdom of Kalima. And he's like, well, geez, I better get my crown off and get my tricorn adventuring hat on. And he set sail. Last time, I mapped the open explorable space, which was, let's see here, hold on. 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 by 7. A 49 square main space of which I can access 47 of the squares. Contrast to the original, which was 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've gone from 48 squares in the base map to 49 in the shift. So yeah, I explored, I found items. I did a few things. Like I found some soup, or stole some soup, and gave it to Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother, making her feel better. I gave Little Red Riding Hood her basket of goodies back. I found a bird, but I'm not sure I should have the bird yet. I think I might actually revert to it before I took the bird, because it seems like it's going to be possible to cover that bird cage. I don't know why it would matter that I did it before I took the bird, but it feels like maybe I should. Maybe that's at least the way to get the most points. British, welcome. Put a little bit of work in and got the chat displaying in the Sierra AGI font, Adventure Game Interpreter font. We'll see if longer messages become a problem and if I need to tweak that some. How are you today, British? Yeah, so I found a bunch of stuff and I wound up kind of just a little stymied because it seemed like there's a castle in the middle of a poison lake. That's one of the squares I can't get to. And also I found a long black cloak and a ruby red ring with the initials CD inscribed, which suggests Count Dracula lives in that castle, and we're going to have interactions with Count Dracula. I found a weird magic door that's just sitting there across a bridge that will collapse if I cross it back and forth too many times. And it told me that I will need to make a splash to find the key, and there's lots of water. But unlike in the first King's Quest, if I say dive, no matter where I say that, it's like, this is too deep, you need assistance. On top of that, I found a trident on the beach. And on top of that, there are 8 explorable... No, more than 8. 14 explorable ocean screens that are all just empty. And you can't dive. All of this tells me that we're going to meet some mermaids. And we're going to be like, hey, King of the Mermaids, you want your trident back? And he might be like, yeah, sure, you want this weird key I found? But I swam around those ocean screens. I tried diving. I tried waiting. Tried entering and exiting the screen in case it was random. Could not find any mermaids. Hello, David. Welcome. So that's where I left off. And my hope was that I would have some brilliant revelation in the intervening week. And one thought that I had was, well, I haven't read the manual for this game because I kind of figured I knew how to play it. What if I missed something? So I read the manual, and no, the manual is just a lengthier telling of the backstory where King Graham is visited by the ghost of the previous king who's like, Graham, you're doing well as the king, but you should marry and produce an heir. Which is real do as I say, not as I do. Cedric, welcome. That's real do as I say, not as I do advice from the former king who famously determined his heir by being like, hey, Graham, could you find these 3 treasures I lost? If you do, I'll let you be the king. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, and that's all it is. There was nothing that made me any more certain of how I might solve the puzzle. But here's something that actually did work out for me. Let me show you on screen for a moment. Oh no. I think this is the thing I want to add. Nope. That says Ice Climber. Hold on. What have I done? Well, what I've done here is I've built overlays on top of overlays and sometimes not kept the names up to date. So what I'm looking for is not Gradius. You know what? Excuse me. I'm going to go back to the intro screen for one moment. And I'm back. Okay, now I know the source name because I just want to show the box for the game that we're playing right now, while I can also speak. I looked at the screen more closely and I learned something essential about the quest design in King's Quest II. Just from a careful artistic study of what we have here, which is a representation of King Graham, although this is not how I picture King Graham, nor how I've ever seen King Graham depicted otherwise, except for the hat. And then a rectangle with another rectangle with another rectangle, and in that third rectangle, a gleaming tower. So I realized when I saw this that that one door that's standing there, that's going to open to reveal a door, which is going to open to reveal a door, which is going to open to let Graham go to the tower, which is where his future bride is. So the door, going through the door, is not an on-the-way thing. That's the end goal, probably. All right. So, building on that thought, while I was prepping the video to put on the 58 Dream Street YouTube page, if you ever want to check out any of the back catalog, you can do that on our YouTube page. Yeah, seriously, like, what has she done? Why is she so dangerous? It's not enough to just put her in a tower. That tower has to be in an alternate dimension, and it's not enough to lock that dimension behind a single magic door. You need a bunch of magic doors, and you need a rickety bridge to reduce the chances that people will actually manage to open all 3 doors. But while I was editing the video, I was like, you know what? I should rewatch the part where I tested the rickety bridge. And you can cross the rickety bridge 4 times. That way. Like, to get to the door. When you try to come back the 4th time, that's when Graham dies. But there's only 3 doors. Well, is the 4th one just generosity? Or maybe... So one of my thoughts is that maybe that's a progress flag. I wasn't thinking that this early in the series there would be things like, what does Graham currently know that affects events? But like, what if I go over there and I look at the door and then I don't reload the save to get my bridge use back because I know I have 3 more to use the keys. And then, with Graham knowing about the door and its inscription, if I go to the monastery or back to Grandma and I'm like, talk to Monk or talk to Grandma, does it open up dialogue where Graham asks them, oh, dearie me, I recall. When I was a kid, when I was but a child, my grandmother always told me stories of the magical key of the mermaids. Or something like that. I don't know. Kind of far-fetched. That was one thought I had. And then the only other concrete thought I had is maybe I actually do want to have the bird right now. Because when I look at the bird, it always sings. And what if I get it to sing in one of the points of interest? Could that cause... Would someone come and be like, hey, heard that bird singing. It was beautiful. Or, hey, that's my bird. Or, hey, I could use that bird for my magic spell or something. I don't know. And then my only other thought is that it's only 49 screens with, X number of points of interest. So maybe I just missed something. I feel like I probably haven't missed anything to pick up, but that's what I thought after my first King's Quest 1 session. And it turned out that I absolutely had missed a rock that I could push that had a dagger underneath it. I don't know. So, that's a bunch of thoughts. Some of them might be good thoughts, but let's find it together. My hope is that this winds up a lot like Session 2 with King's Quest, which is that after some hopeless wandering, I had the breakthrough. And once I solved the first thing, even though it turned out the first thing that I solved had literally no impact on my ability to complete the game, but once I solved one thing, the dominoes started falling. That's what I hope happens here. That's what I hope happens here. Can I just go right to loading? No, I can't. I gotta watch the story again. But here we are, in the land of Kalima. I'm going to go to Nightingale Reversion, and for now, just hang tight, Nightingale. I don't know why it would matter to cover you before, since I was able to take you without covering you. If nothing else, it might be a way to get more points. Or it might turn out that there isn't actually a way to cover the Nightingale, and that's just a red herring. But I think there is, and I think if we find it, we'll feel happy. Even if it turns out to be one of those things that doesn't actually matter to what happens. So here we are. What I'm thinking, 60 points out of 180. Hit the various points of interest that are on the way to the old rickety bridge. But then, after that, where are we here? Okay. Oh, in fact, there's only 1 point of interest on the way. And then when I get there, after I leave there, I got to hit all the points of interest and just kind of walk around, see if that was a flag, but also just keep an eye out. Is there a hole that I missed? Well, not that hole in that tree on the screen right now, because I have not missed that. I just can't go. I can't reach under there and grab anything. All right. Very important. Should probably turn the speed down to normal for the extraordinarily dangerous task. Look at fire. Fire's crackling merrily. I don't know what I have that would douse the fire. No. There's no reason to do that. Which I think is just a generic message. But okay. I've looked at the hats. Take hat. Hats wouldn't fit me. Well, what if they would perfectly fit, say like a skull. A friendly talking skull. That happened in Quest for Glory just now. Well, fairy spell is worn off. I was worried that might be a message of, hey, the dwarf's home. And this time, he's not satisfied just taking your stuff. He is going to eat you or something. Look in chest. I know I already took the treasure out of the chest. Notice nothing. Knock on chest. It sounds hollow. There's a false bottom. Can I move the chest? I can't. What if there's also something under it? I don't know. I mean, I think this is what we're doing here. We're just trying everything, along with hoping that Graham can actually, even though the conversation system doesn't seem to go any further than, dude, stay away. There, stayed away. Excellent. Yeah, like there's no conversation system beyond just saying, hey, I want to talk to that person, and it's saying, all right, well, this is what happened when you talk to them. And yet. And this could also turn out to be a real bad idea, and I'll wish that I hadn't done it. So let's, just in case I'm wasting my bridge use, and later I find out, oh, there's a concrete reason why you absolutely need to maximize the efficiency of your 4 crossings of the bridge. Scored a point, not bad. And then over here, is it up to the door or down? It's up. There we go. There's a hole in this tree, but I don't recall. I mean, every time I see a hole or a knot in a tree, I'm like, is there a big bag of coins or a magical gem or a something in there? Count Dracula's cufflinks. Nah, just a hole. Nothing special. Look at door. It's a magical door. If you can open it, the door will lead you to your heart's desire. There's an inscription on the door. I guess that was also a pretty strong clue that opening the door... Oh, Abra's left. I should shut the door behind me. Oh, she hasn't left. She's right here. I'm sorry, Abra. You okay, sweetie? It's not that time yet. Okay, she's okay. I didn't run her over or anything. She's very, in a good way, jittery about things like that. So she reacts in advance. Good stuff. Okay, but there is an inscription. Trying to retrain my brain to type the word inscription with an I instead of a Y in the script part, thanks to the game Inscription. But I still want to play a little bit more of on stream, at least to put a closure on it. I think the Casey's mod thing is just more of a thing for me to do in my spare time. It's not really the kind just doing runs. It's not really the kind of streaming I usually do. Okay, whosoever chooses to seek the key for this door will undoubtedly make a splash. I don't not expect someone to answer the door. I'm trying everything here. Wait, is there anything down? Probably not. Feels like I probably checked. But I ought to check again. Whoa! Mainly just the opportunity to plummet to your death. Ooh. Alright. I don't think the idea that I just had is anything. Oh, I'm already wearing the cloak. Okay. We think this might be Count Dracula's cloak. Can it make me float? Nope. It certainly can't. Okay, but that was worth a shot. Because what if the vampire's cloak, Graham turns into mist or bats, and then you land in the chasm and you get some more screens. Felt like a long shot, but you never know. You never know. Okay. Well, that's one crossing and back of the bridge. We have two more crossings and back, and then you can cross, and it's all over for that bridge. So he's reading the inscription alone, making it so that Graham knows about the inscription. Gonna open anything up, any new possibilities. Let's find out. Let's try the monastery, which I expect will be empty unless now the monk wants to. If I see the monk, I'm going to feel very confident that the monk has something to say. No. No monk. Although nothing. Okay, fine. That's all right. That's all right. So here's the monastery. One thing that is obviously going to... Well, there might be a puzzle involved, or there might be a... At some point now, this just gets different. But down here, we have the quaint little antique shop that is closed. So maybe... Mental note. If I'm still banging my head against the wall in an hour, in fact, I'll get away from me, enchanter. Haha. In fact, let's just look at our inventory for a moment while I say it. If I'm still just, beating my head against the wall, a while from now, and I'm getting nowhere, I'm going to go to the monastery. I'm going to open anything up, any new possibilities. Let's try the monastery, which I expect will be empty unless now the monk wants to. If I see the monk, I'm going to feel very confident that the monk has something to say. No. Nope. Remind me of the thought I just had of what if getting the bird to sing in front of the antique shop would be like, oh, I hear, is that a little bird looking to buy some antiques? And okay, what else do I have? Do I remember everything that I had? Trident, found on the ground. Bracelet I found somewhere on the ground. The ruby ring Grandma gave to me in exchange for soup. She had that under her bed along with Count Dracula's cloak for some reason. Earrings that I found somewhere on the ground. A mallet I found on the ground. A cross, which was given to me by the monk. In addition to the ruby ring with CD and the vampire cloak, the cross, mallet, and stake all kind of say, hey, this is a vampire. The bouquet of flowers is what Riding Hood gave me in exchange for her basket of goodies. I do not know what to do with those yet. Maybe I just give them to the lady when I find the future queen. Necklace I found on the ground, brooch I found on the ground, black cloak, grandma head, clamshell was on the beach, hiding one of the pieces of jewelry underneath it. And I can't figure out, I think I tried opening the clamshell. Can't do it. It says it's a clam. Oh, you know what? Here's another thought. What if this is just a poor choice of language and the clamshell is actually supposed to be like a conch shell? Can I like blow, what if it's a horn that summons the mermaid if I stand on the beach and like blow in shell? That's a thought. Okay. But no, can't just shout. Sign still says closed, right? Yes. Okay, the antique shop, nothing yet. We're already getting pretty low on points of interest other than the ones that force us to be in danger or that we can't get to. Like the castle in the midst of the poison lake is a huge point of interest for me. But I don't know the gimmick to get across. Probably part of me really still wants there to be a puzzle that I solve by felling a tree and crossing, but I don't think I've seen a tree that looks graphically like it's supposed to be long enough to cross the poison river. There's no bridge, of course, so maybe I'll find a boat, or maybe the mermaids will be like, hey, in addition to this key, here's the water purifying tablets of Poseidon or something. Lots of things could happen. That's what I'm saying. Anything can happen. Anything at all. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, we're low on points of interest. We got Grandma's cottage, really. And then maybe I don't know, search the beach more, they're so obviously mermaids, right? So how do we meet the mermaids? Lake with mini island. So up from here and then one screen to the east will get us to Grandma. And 7 screens of beach, 14 screens of ocean. I don't know about the ocean stuff. I don't know. Might have to go in through this door several times. Oh, no. It's just Grandma. She's still just happy about the soup. I don't think this is a thing. Nope. No. There's only talk to. It's just like playing Final Fantasy on NES. Walk up to the NPC, press the talk to them button, receive the dialogue they have for you right now. Okay, well. Okay. Am I forgetting any points of interest? We have the enemy places like Hagatha's Cave, which is where I can get the Nightingale, which I cannot cover with the cloak, but if you try to cover with the cloak, it's like the error text suggests that like something else could work here. I don't know why a cloak wouldn't work. I can see it being clumsy, like it's too big. But that's like a carrying the cage around problem. It's not actually a getting it covered problem. If anything, it makes covering it easier. But okay. Otherwise, yeah. Like points of interest that are easily accessible are the monastery, the rickety bridge and the magic door, the antique shop, Grandma's cottage, Hagatha's Cave, Dwarf's treehouse. And like the beach and the water is a point of interest for me because like it's there for a reason. They didn't make 14 screens of ocean that you're never going to access for a reason. And also, the game is screaming, hey, you gotta find mermaids. I've heard the mermaids singing each to each, and I do not think that they will sing to me. So, I don't know. I've tried like getting that coconut from the palm tree, because certainly a coconut seems like it could be a quest item. No luck, though. Just regular rocks. Look for shell. Is there another shell? No, that just looks at my shell. Okay. Blown shell. Can't do that. Knock on shell. Throw shell. Okay. I don't think there's any... Okay. Sure. Alright, congratulations to me. I solved the puzzle. I guess. So, in hindsight, now that I look at that rock, all this thought that I had about being so sure there'd be a mermaid, my eyes should have been drawn to that rock that is clearly set up for a mermaid to lounge upon. But alright, so there's just a mermaid, which is either because I know about that I need to make a splash, but that's not even the game using Graham's knowledge. Like, it's not like I did anything. There's like, oh, well, Graham has an idea. Or this is just a random encounter, and I wasn't, it's got a low rate, maybe? That could be the case, because I don't know that I was screen flipping in and out of these beach screens to try to just get a mermaid to appear. I thought the mermaids would appear out in the ocean. All that said, great. So there's a mermaid here, huh? The mermaid has long flowing hair covering most of her upper body. The green scales on her fishtail are sparkling like emeralds as she slowly waves it back and forth. She beckons with her hand. Hi, mermaid. I'm King Graham from Daventry. The mermaid does not reply. She gives you a quizzical look and continues waving her fishtail. Wave to mermaid. No. Can't do that. Okay. Even though Abra is still in the room, I gotta shut this door. It's okay, Abra. Don't worry. She's gonna worry though. The moment that it seems to her that, hey, my options of where to go have been restricted. Yeah, like, come on. Can we not just like cut a corner here? Mermaid, do you know any witch mermaids who could give you legs? Maybe take away your voice. You're not talking to me anyway. Did I say wave to mermaid? Yes, I can't do that. Do you want the trident? Well, hold on. before we start giving it all away, let's save over the... Okay. Okay. Give trident to mermaid. Hey, I hear that you mermaids like tridents. You think this is cool? Too far away. Okay, swim. Once I start swimming, will she talk to me? She's like, hey, I like swimming. We have things in common. No, quizzical look. Keeps waving her tail. Show her the trident. Can't do it. Okay, do you want it? You hand the rusty trident to the mermaid. Oh no! She dives into the water and disappears with it. Now she's gone. Well, I lost points. She didn't like say, hey. Grateful about that. Can't dive. Can I see the mermaid? Is she just hiding just below the surface? Nope. Well, probably that's a better reload situation, but what if, I was gonna say, what if she comes back and now that I've given you your valuable trident, you'll talk to me? No. I think I want my trident back. For now. What other objects do I have? I mean, any kind of jewelry might appeal to the mermaid. The clamshell might appeal to the mermaid because she could make a new bra out of it. Because right now it seems like she's doing the artful hair placement method of maintaining propriety. But if she's modest, if she wants to adhere to the norms of the land when she's within view of the land, well, hey, crack this open. Right? Right? The mermaid looks at your offer distastefully. She's not interested in it. Okay. Well. The mermaid gladly takes your treasure. In return, she summons forth from the sea a magic seahorse. Maybe you could ride it. Okay. So, what I'm gathering here is that if you're trying to impress a mermaid, jewelry, fine jewelry, is actually more appealing than a clam shell that you found washed up on the beach that you haven't opened, so the clam inside has died and probably doesn't smell very good, the bivalve in there, or a rusty weapon. Women, perhaps, prefer jewelry to rusty old weapons that you found on the ground. I don't know. At any rate, that cost me 7 points. Hold on. Let's think here. The ruby ring I'm not giving to her. That feels game breaking to give up. But hold on. It's a sapphire necklace. Yeah. It's a sapphire brooch. Delicate little earrings. Just wondering which of these, assuming she'll accept them all in the first place, which of these is, you know, yeah, I never really thought about that. But like, yeah, like the edges of various seashells are not necessarily blunted by nature. I suppose it's entirely plausible that mermaid artisans can do that work for you. All right, you want these earrings? She likes them. She gets a seahorse. 7 points. Okay. Might be all the jewelry worth the same number of points, which does also suggest that there's something I could give her, or say to her, or do. She likes the bracelet. 7 points. I haven't given her the brooch yet. Wait, hold on. Hold on. You graciously offer the beautiful bouquet. It's got original text. Beautiful bouquet of wildflowers to the mermaid. She loves the flowers. She then summons forth a magic seahorse. Maybe you could ride it. Okay. Same outcome. But I bet the flowers are worth fewer points. Oh, in fact, I gain points. Nice. Let's ride this seahorse. Quick as a flash, it glides under the water with you on its back. 2 points. Very cool. There's sharks everywhere. Yeah. Maybe I should have already... Ooh, I like this... We've got like 2-dimensional controls now, where up and down are to rise and fall. Also, check it out. If I know anything about mermaids, so this is the Mermaid King. The tells here are he's on a crown, he's on a throne, he wears a crown, and also he's got the whole King Triton beard. The bottom of the sea is teeming with fish and plant life. King Neptune rules this mighty underwater empire. Look at King Neptune. Neptune. King Neptune is tall and imposing, with a flowing robe and long greenish-gray beard. A crown fashioned of shells and pearls adorns his head. What about that shell by him? The enormous shell behind King Neptune is tightly shut, but I bet it's got something in it, and I kind of think that I could probably circumvent even bothering to talk to him by just giving him the trident, right? But let's find out. Nepture. Why do my fingers want to type Nepture? That's rough. The mermaids don't have a way of speaking. Oh, it's me going. There's got to be some kind of, breathing device or suppository that they could provide me with that would allow me to speak like that. That's a Futurama reference. Not me just very bizarrely fantasizing about a suppository. Should probably clarify it. You want this trident, though? Reverently, the king accepts his lost trident from you. He gives you a bottle, then waves the trident in front of the huge clam, which opens and reveals, dun dun dun, a large golden key. All right. Awesome. And he gave me a bottle. Everything I know about stories tells me there's going to be a message in that bottle, but we'll find it. Can I take the key? Not close enough. But it seems like I'm allowed to take the key. Got the key. 75 points. I know that's just the game doing a generic response, but I would like to pretend that Graham justly thanked King Neptune, and that was King Neptune saying thank you. Yeah, like there is like you can conceive of rescue operations that involve, a daisy chain of mermaids holding each other's tails. Then you just gotta flop up there at high tide and just scrabble on your elbows as fast as you can, get the trident, and then hopefully if there's enough of them left they can swim and get the whole chain just pulled back. But it is risky. It is, and it's also quite funny to think that he lost his trident and it just washed up, at the very furthest point that the waves reach at high tide, and they just can't get it. But we fixed it. Okay, so when you give the trident just to the mermaid, she's like, oh, sweet. King Neptune's going to be happy about this. And she gets on with her day. She goes and gets the credit for it. Which is kind of weird, since anything else you do for her, she's like, I should give this human the ability to ride a magical seahorse under the water. But if he restores our king's sacred artifact, or royal signia, or whatever it is, I'm taking the credit for that, and this guy can fuck off. Okay. Actually, I wonder if I gave her the trident, she swam off, and then I gave her the flowers, she'd give me the seahorse, and then I came down, and Neptune's like, are you the one that they were talking about? Because I'm very happy to have my trident back. Bam, bam. Help have this key from the clamshell. At any rate, cool. To the surface? No, can't surface here. Oh, no, this is an autopilot. It is not an action sequence of avoiding sharks. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but are the 14 ocean screens just there to like make you think the ocean is important, but not to actually reveal any particular thing to you? I don't know. All right, Graham. If, and I think there's a decent chance, the reason that mermaid appeared was because I had read the inscription and not just because she was random, I had a good feeling that more random stuff might happen. If only I were to go and open up the first door. On top of that, it also seems like if I were to open the first door, which will reveal the second door, that one probably has an inscription with a clue, which itself, I mean, might be the literal thing that opens up the next thing to happen. Because I haven't been sent away with... I didn't gain any other items there that would solve any other puzzles that I'm aware of. So if door number 2 doesn't have some advice for me, then that's a shame. But we'll see. It's also possible that we've just that was it. That was the nut that I needed to crack, and we're just going to cascade on to victory. Or cascade to the bottom of a chasm, ending the quest. Let's try that one again. Let's run that back. Okay. So here's the sand trappy looking one. In fact, I ought to annotate where I met the mermaid, which I've now done. Just in case, I might have, in some other fashion, broken this playthrough already. If I need to start over again. It'd be nice to know exactly which beach to go to. At the same time, it's not that long to just press down and watch Graham walk through 7 screens of beach. Here's the monastery. This time, I'll approach the bridge from the left, further away from the chasm. Alright, I got a good feeling here. In very, very different gaming, I've been checking out F-Zero 99, the latest Battle Royale game that they made available through the Switch Online. If you like F-Zero, it's pretty good. I heard that a lot of F-Zero fans were frustrated that a new F-Zero gets announced for the first time since the GameCube era. But it's just a 99 game, but it's that's like, first of all, great mix. Like, that's a game that is very well suited to the idea of having 99 people on the track at once. And it's quite a bit of fun when you're playing it for exactly that reason. There's a lot of chaos going on, which really kind of captures the whole feel that the F-Zero tournament is supposed to have. But then also, what's the other thing I was trying to say? It's also the kind of thing where, hey, look, even though there hasn't been a game in this series since the GameCube, and the game is probably in most people's consciousness more because Captain Falcon is a character in Smash Bros. Than because of the F-Zero games themselves. Well, this is going to get a lot of people paying attention to F-Zero at least a little, that otherwise might not have, which might be the kind of thing that makes Nintendo go, okay, you know what, maybe we can cook with this. Maybe it is time to make another F-Zero game. And that would be great, in my opinion. Alright. Unlock door. The key to the first door fits easily into the keyhole. You turn the key and presto! The door opens, and the key disappears, revealing a second door with another inscription. Incredible. The inscription reads, "Whoever chooses to seek the key for this door should set their sights high." Okay. I don't know. I don't have an immediate instinct of what that might be pointing me towards. Hey, Squeaky. It's not that time yet, but pretty soon. Okay. Hey. Oh, hey, and here's your sister. She knows it's time soon as well. She's pushed the door open. Or no, it just popped open. Your sister's not there. You know what? Even though it's a few minutes early, maybe I should just give her what she wants. Why not? Every now and then. You want some lunch, Abra? You want lunch? No? Abra, do you want lunch? Well, I think she does. So I'm gonna give this a shot. I'll be right back, gang. Brief intermission. Hang tight. And we're back. Okay. Cat's fed. It did turn out that Abra was interested in lunch. She just was very skeptical that I would actually give her lunch 5 minutes early. So until I stood up and it became real, she didn't want to move. Okay. None of these items scream to me, "You will fly." And the clamshell just seems really weird now because it didn't come up during the mermaid quest. But maybe Count Dracula loves clams. Who knows? Maybe the non-violent answer with Count Dracula is not to return his ruby ring or give him his cloak back. Just be like, "Hey man, I was clam digging earlier, I don't know. Like clams?" Okay, so going high. Going up high. Alright. Is there anything? Just looking for any kind of description I might have written that suggests to me, you know, like a really, really tall tree that might go to the sky. No. I do know that when I was against the cliffside, there was text to the effect of he'll only give up the key if Graham can teach him the received pronunciation way to say clam chowder. Hello, Bram Butcher. I bet that's true. I believe I had clam chowder, at least. I've been like I had seafood chowders, at the very least, in the period of my life where I ate, fish and meat and things like that. Been a vegetarian for a long time now, though. So I don't know. I don't know the exact feeling you're describing, but it seems plausible. Beautiful fairy came from the sky. Probably this is just more, hey, I'll put my spell on you. But my thought was, what if I walk along the mountain? Will someone come down from the sky? So, what's up? No. Just the regular fairy help. But hey, that's good in its own right. Here's the back of the quaint little shop. Actually, I suppose I should take a look at the front of the shop. Looks like it is still closed. No, the sign says open. Well, what do you know? Oh, here's the evil enchanter. Come at me, bro. Haha, sucks to be you. That guy didn't have a well-developed plan of what he was going to do to ambush King Graham. Okay. No, wait. That's the proper save name for here. Okay. Still polite. It's a shop. It's kind of weird, but loud and cheery. No, just cheery. My knock was the loud part. They say, "Come on in." Okay. Little old lady in the antique shop says, "How may I help you?" Well, let's look around. What do you got? You're inside a cute little antique shop. Old furniture and knickknacks clutter the place. Against a wall, a glass display case holds many small items. The little old lady asks if she can help you. Well, what are the small items? See antique knickknacks in the display case. Nothing there interests you. What about this magic lamp? Well, my name is King Graham, and I'm here to say I can't imagine that King Graham's raps are any more sophisticated than that. You're not carrying it. Well, I get that. But can't I look at it? No, I need to have it. So can I buy it from her? Little old lady motions toward an old oil lamp. This is a new item in my shop, she says. I thought you might be interested in it. Yes, I am. It's quite literally the only object of interest, I think. Okay. Can I buy it from you? The oil lamp is expensive, the old lady says. It will cost you 2 treasures. There is an alternative, though, she says. The old hag, Agatha, stole my precious nightingale. Oh, hey. If you can return it to me, then I will give you the oil lamp. You usually get more points for the non-violent solutions. So I'm going to see if I can get her nightingale back. But if she's like, you haven't covered it, then yeah, maybe we can try just like tip the chair over, take the lamp. Whatever. The points are arbitrary. But okay, a quest. A quest fit for a king. Stealing back a bird from Agatha. So I will go. Let's see. Yeah, I guess just this way. This is the way. There's nothing I can do about it now, but in hindsight, when Cedric made the Dracula from Boston joke, and then Brown Butcher chimed in to talk about clam chowder, and then I said, hello, Brown Butcher. I should have said, hello, Brown Butcher. Not because that's such a great joke, but I love any joke that's built around a bad Southie accent. It's to me a great joke. Agatha's nearby. That's not great. But she can't do anything to me. I got the magic touch. Okay. So, I don't know. The bird sings, then it stops. So, there's a possibility that I'll go back and she'll be like, you stressed out my bird and now it won't sing. Even though I know that every time I look at the cage, the bird sings. But otherwise, very straightforward puzzle here. I saw a post on the rare, every now and then I still go on Facebook, even though the algorithm now primarily serves you, stuff that will make you angry, that has nothing to do with your friends posting pictures of their kids. But I was on Facebook one time, sometime last few months, and it had selected a post from a Cthulhu group where someone made a meme for Call of Cthulhu. And the basic joke of the meme was saying, like, guys, you know that Cthulhu is set in Massachusetts, and so, a good GM should make sure to give, like, obnoxious Southie accents to the characters, ironically. And I took that personally, because when I've run a few Call of Cthulhu investigations, and I don't see how you can claim to be doing it right if you don't have a bartender or a gangster or somebody who's going to come in just talking like, hey, where'd you park your car? That kind of really lazy stuff. Feels necessary to me to really capture the spirit of the game. Your mileage may vary. Where? Oh, it just must be one more screen to the north. So hopefully the old lady doesn't fly into a rage because I upset her bird by not covering it. Say, lady, like, if you just told me, right? How may I help you? Oh, I think I'm the one who's going to be helping you. You hand the bird cage with the nightingale to the little old lady. My precious, she exclaims. In gratitude, she gives you the oil lamp. Good luck, she says. She hastens you out the door, closes up shop. Really? Why? Why'd you rush me out the door? I just did you a favor. And also, you still have other items. You know what? She's excited because she's reunited with her bird. She's going to see if she can teach it some new song or something. I don't think nightingales are a bird that can imitate speech, but I could be wrong with that. Okay, got the lamp. And it would just be... Yeah. Yeah, she's like, excuse me, I need to go get set up in the back room where the secret entrance is. Where if you do the sinister knock, the sinister secret knock, you can buy exotic animals. Okay, so it would be absurd to even go one screen without rubbing this lamp. Actually, hold on, let's look at it first. The old oil lamp is fashioned of brass that has been tarnished. Tarnished, eh? Maybe someone should polish it, right? There's a spout at one end and a round handle at the other. The lamp is empty inside. Or is it? When you rub the tarnished brass lamp, you hear a poof, and a genie appears. Joke's on the old lady. She could have just been like, hey, I wish for my bird back. Oh, no, never mind. There's no wishes here. Just a free magic carpet. But hey, I think we can work with that. Can I do it anywhere? Or do I have to go to the spot at the cliff where it was like, hey, if you get on a bird or something, maybe you can pass this cliff? Who needs a bird when you got a magic carpet? Great. Good stuff. Real good stuff. Feels good. Okay. So. Well, look at the carpet. Magic carpet is a beautifully woven Persian rug with a colorful fringe on the ends. Could have used our imaginations a little to get the idea with that particular representation of a carpet, but okay. The lady could have had a different product, but I guess since the price she was setting for her rare product anyway was just like, hey, get me my birds back. My exact thought, Cedric. Like, we could get all the characters in the game together if we had a proper Ultima 7 magic carpet with chairs built into it. Oh, Ultima 7. Be playing more Ultima 7 long from now. Because I could do Ultima Underworld 2. Then we go back to Silmaria for Quest for Glory 5. And, oh man. I remembered Ultima Underworld. Like, I looked at my playtime and it was pretty short, all things considered. Especially because I was bumbling through the game drastically underleveled because I didn't read the manual. Didn't know how the progression system worked. But I checked the CRPG Addict's playtimes for both games. And he did about not quite double the hours to finish the second game as the first game. So, sounded like it was going to be long. Oh well. I mean, I really remember enjoying the first one, so it's probably good. But boy, I've been appreciating doing some short games with these King's Quest so far. All right. Well, I mean, try the carpet here, and then failing that, go to the cliffs and find the cliff where it was like, hey. No. Just ride the carpet straight to the sky. we're more than halfway through the potential score. And as we learned in King's Quest 1, it was possible to get a pretty low overall score, even though it seemed like I did all of the non-violent solutions. Like, I didn't kill a single thing. And yet there were a bunch of little things I never did. Well, not that like I made progress that needs to be saved, but never miss a chance to use one of my favorite hip-hop songs as a title. So what's this plateau all about? There's steep cliffs on 3 sides of this mountaintop. Don't get too near the edge. I won't. I believe I'm still under fairy protection. Look out! There's a poisonous viper blocking your path. Well, does the fairy spell help with that? The snake has struck you dead. No. Decidedly not. Enjoy the musical cue. And we'll fire it back up. Okay, what do I have that a snake might enjoy? Oh, I never dealt with this bottle. There's a large cloth in the glass bottle. Okay. There was never a need to cover the nightingale, but pull a large piece of cloth out of the bottle. Well, 2 points for that. Does the cloth... maybe I can flutter the cloth over the poisonous viper? Let's see. I still have the lamp. Snakes like clamshells? Like, there are things that I don't think are going to be the answer, but like, if I still have the lamp, like, couldn't I be like, hey, Genie, would you also zap this viper? If I still have magic carpet, can't I just fly over the viper? I don't think those are answers, though. Okay. The treasures, bracelet, earrings, necklace, brooch, feel like things I'm supposed to try to hang on to, even if there was a way to get the snake to take them or be scared of them or what have you. Gotta feel like the stake and the mallet are for Dracula. What if Dracula's ring can mesmerize a snake? Okay, poisonous viper. Well, hold on. Yep, okay. It's about 10 feet long. It's coiled and it's ready to strike. Okay. If I put the ring on... Oh, I'm already wearing it. Can't do that. It's the talking viper. Stay away or I will strike. Well, it's like, you know, it's a waistband for a snake, right? Well, let's find it. Actually, maybe the necklace, you know, if you unclasp the necklace, maybe the snake is like, hey, you know, I can wear this like a cape. All right now. Okay. Well, let's see if the genie will just come and fix this problem. Can you solve this problem for me too, genie? Oh. He gave me a sword. Can't get the sword. But do I have the sword? Yes. Shining sword is not incredibly large, but it's very sharp. It has a snake carved into the bronze handle. Maybe I don't even need to kill the snake. You want to marry this handle? Okay. I don't understand wield. Okay. Genie, you got anything else? A third thing. A leather bridle. And the lamp's gone. Of course, because I did my 3 things. So, they anticipated the same problem. Hey, Cuba! It doesn't seem like it's going to let me, but maybe it's because I'm not close enough. Hey, glad you stopped by. It's been a bit of time. Good to see you. Okay. Oh wait, what did you just give me? The sword. The bridle. So is it a tiny bridle? Studded with silver rivets and a silver bit. It feels wildly unlikely, and yet too far away. That can't be the only problem. With this plan. You toss the leather bridle onto the coiled snake. Instantly, there stands before you not a snake, but a beautiful winged horse wearing the bridle. Okay. I'm glad that I tried the joke answer before I got down to cutting the snake up with a sword or anything like that. This, okay. I'm not going to claim credit for solving a puzzle here. But I'm glad this happened. Okay. Talk to Pegasus. Hey, Pegasus. No response. Okay. Well. Can I ride the Pegasus? You're not able to ride the Pegasus. Can I walk past the Pegasus? Will it kick me or anything? No. There's a cave. It's a large cave opening into the steep mountainside. Also, this rock looks like it's got a hole. When I finish this, I'm going to be very interested to look at all the ways to get points and find out what are the, like... It is, except, like, I never would have stumbled on to inverting the alphabet to spell Rumpelstiltskin's name with the letters from the opposite position as though you were counting backwards from Z. I only solved that by virtue of having read about it as an example of insane adventure game puzzle design before. This was just, I was like, well, I mean, the genie gave me 3 things. You want this bridle? Can I put the bridle on the snake? Sure, I guess, because it was really a Pegasus. Is there a myth? Is there a part of the Metamorphoses I'm not remembering where Pallas Athena puts her, or whatever she's called in the Metamorphoses, whatever the Romans call Pallas Athena, puts a enchanted bridle on a sword to make on a snake to make a Pegasus? I don't know. Look at hole. Oh no! This is bad as bad can be. Upon looking in the hole, you believe you see an incredibly blatant plug for another Sierra 3D animated adventure. Hang on. In deep space, a vessel drifts silently, unbeknownst to you, the dreaded Saurians. These bad boys of something. Destruction. 3D adventure games. A hero, you'll explore strange vessels, visit bizarre planets. Get friendly with the wildlife. You get acquainted with some darn interesting folks. Enjoy for soon you'll come face to face with the dreaded Sarians. Briefly befuddled by this bizarre event, you brace yourself and continue with the quest before you. I played a little bit of Space Quest 1. I've played through the emergent, several times. I think me and my friend played through the emergency on the vessel and got to the planet and then did nothing else after that. I'm having enough fun here with the early King's Quest games that probably Space Quest is in my future too. Maybe not Police Quest. I've also played Police Quest. Police Quest has a lot of the puzzles are just, did you read the manual very carefully so that you know proper police procedure for inspecting your vehicle before you go out on a call, stuff like that, which is I guess kind of interesting. Yeah, you look in the hole and you get product placement for other Sierra games, which is fun. All right, well, obviously we're gonna go in the cave here. And unless there's a bunch of spots you can't walk on, and it seems like there's not. Yeah. Got the key. Boom. Well, this is coming together fast. Yeah. There was none of that for me. There was solely, hey, I rubbed the lamp 3 times. Probably one of the sword or the bridle seems like it would be the solution to this puzzle, since the lamp is what got me to this puzzle. And even then, I did not think, if I throw this at the snake, maybe it'll turn into a friendly Pegasus. My thought process is more nothing at all. Fairy spell is worn off. The Pegasus kicks you hard in the side of the head. King Graham's quest has ended. Well, take my carpet back down. Unless, no, okay. I thought, what if just you try to take the carpet back down, you die? It's because you actually do need to pet the Pegasus to make it like you and then ride it. But no. All right. Got my feet back on the ground. And we know what to do next. There's very little mystery there. We are going to return to the door, open the door, and probably read an inscription on the third door, which should also cause something to happen, which this time ought to involve, just by law of economy of interesting things and characters. Oh, good. I could use a re-up on my protection spell. Come on, fairy, hook it up, hook it up. This is great. Thanks, fairy. Good stuff. Okay. So is the inscription going to be something heavy-handed telling me about Dracula, right? But what? I don't know. So then we'll walk all around the poison lake, because kind of seems like the progression here is when you read the inscription, the next leg of the journey gets queued up. I don't think I'll be using that bridge reversion. I'll remember these simpler times. Probably very soon. Probably as soon as King's Quest 3. As it gets more complex. I'll just be like, oh man, now it's so hard to do anything. Ever. Enter a description. Second door is locked. You cannot open it. Third door, another inscription. These doors are getting, this can get tough. There's a Thomas Ligotti story called My Work Is Not Yet Done, which is just a kind of a weird cosmic / corporate, it's subtitled, A Tale of Corporate Horror. But just some awful guy somehow like insinuates himself into being an eldritch horror of sorts. He gives himself powers to get revenge on his co-workers who he hates, or something like that. And what he does to one guy is he imprisons him in a world where he just opens doors, and there's doors behind the doors forever. Hopefully that's not what Roberta Williams is doing to us now. Seems unlikely. Because there's only 63 more points to go. If instead of 185 the infinity symbol was there, I'd start getting pretty nervous. Whoever chooses to seek the last key must have a stout heart. Because you have to be brave to cross the poison lake to Count Dracula's castle, right? Alright, King Graham. So I'm to show how stout your heart is. Okay, so from here, 2 screens down will get me to the northeastern corner of the lake, and then we'll circle it. Seems pretty likely that the change will be on the screen where we can see the castle. Let's find out. Ah, it's Agatha. Joke's on you, Agatha. Boom. And I stole back that bird, too. So nothing is coming up Agatha these days. Oh, hey, it's Charon. That will get me across the river if I can pay his toll. Familiar motif at this point. So it seems pretty likely that all of the different treasures I have will count. The lake is foul and stinking, etc. A shrouded figure stands silent. Okay. What do I have? Sword, bracelet, stake, ruby ring, necklace, earrings, brooch, mallet, empty bottle, black cloak, cross, cloth, carpet, clamshell. Is it... Okay, is he Death? Am I supposed to call him Death? No? Small wooden rowboat looks old and rotted from traversing the poison lake. There, just man. I was overthinking this. The shrouded ghoul looks very frightening. His hands are little more than claws, and his face is completely hidden inside the hood of the shroud. He's standing in a small boat. Well, is he the kind of Charon that talks? You're greeted by stony silence from the frightening ghoul. Okay. Well, let's try some things. Do you like clam shells? The Peasant Quest parodies? Yeah, I've someone mentioned those to me as something I should check out once I've done these. And I remembered they existed when I was told that, and perhaps I shall. Do you like shells? Because I don't have 2 coins, which is what I'd really like to have. 2 ols. He doesn't want the shell. You like earrings? Yep. Well, that's a lot of points that it cost. Okay. So, is there a way I can get across here? What if I give him the cloak and he's like, oh, hey, you got to return this to the boss. Oh, that's really nice to hear. Because it's easy to imagine also just a really lazy parody of adventure games where, you know, it's just like King Graham says a swear word or something. Well, not one swear word, but you get what I'm saying. Just like random vulgarity. Ha ha ha. He doesn't want the cloak. What about the ring? No. Can I smash the clamshell, revealing 2 coins? No. Do you like empty bottles? I don't see why you would. No. I'd just love to give you something that's not my important treasure. Not important. My unimportant treasure for arbitrary points that don't matter. If I can hold on to those, I want them. You like this cool sword? No, he doesn't want a sword. You like this brooch? That's just going to be another point loss. He takes it. 7 points. But I guess that's because figuring out a way to do these things without giving up your treasures is kind of it's the stretch goal. So you got to make it worth something. Okay. Didn't think you'd want the cross. What if I show him the ring? Like, hey, it's boss's ring. No. Okay. How important is this to me? Not very important. And yet. Okay. Mainly because it's just I can't think of any place where I'm going to find coins now. But hold on. I'm like, I've got nothing that makes me think that like I could find a place to dig and like dig up some coins. I'm going to go ahead, and if in the course of finishing up the game I figure out what it should have been, I'll come back to get all the points I possibly can before we close it off. You like this brooch? He loves the brooch. The shrouded ghoul looks at the ruby ring on your finger and the black cloak around your neck. He motions for you to enter the boat, which you do. You must have fooled him into thinking you were someone else. I've already done the... Okay. He thinks I'm Count Dracula. I've solved the problem. I did not need to give him anything. I could have just gotten the boat. I think that's what I'm being told here. Yep, that's it. Hey, it's me. Your boss, Count Dracula. Just chilling under the open sky. Don't think too much about it. Nice. There we go. Well, don't need this. Okay, here we are at Castlevania. So what's up? What's looking good? Legs found stinking. Am I poisoned? All the vegetation is dead. What about this castle, though? Anything interesting about that? Will I die if I touch the thorns? Yes. I was just about to ask that when I answered it by touching the thorns and dying. So, oh great. Okay, good. Thank goodness. Wouldn't feel right if there wasn't a ridiculous movement puzzle. Unless, hold on. No, can't just chop the thorn bushes. Okay. Speed to normal and then toss down a save. Can't even just go up from my starting position. Okay. Well, we're going to do this the traditional way with a lot of saves. Okay, that's pretty high up. Not high enough. I got much further the first time where everything was going great until my brain formed the thought, can these thorns hurt me? Maybe that's the... maybe that was the trick. It's like Freddy Krueger. Can Freddy not hurt you if you don't believe in him? No, that's not a thing. Okay, making good progress now. Would have been done. Yeah, like Graham's just walking along. The thorns are all scraping his arms. He's like just pouring blood. But it's when he stops and he looks down and he goes, oh, hey, I wonder if those are poison. He's done. It's over. I've done it. There are 2 spooky ghosts guarding the door of the gloomy castle. This situation looks bad. Okay. Well, what do I have? I got a cross. Kind of seems like that should be for Dracula himself. Ghosts of Us. Pretty sweet theme song. Ghostly apparitions guard an evil being lurking within the castle walls. Sure. Can I talk to them? When you speak to the ghosts, they utter a mournful wail. Well, I gotta run to the washroom. And then we'll I haven't even tried just walking up. See if the ghosts will just let me pass. It's just a trick. Who knows? We'll find out. But brief intermission, gang. I'll be right back with you. Okay. How can Graham bust these ghosts with the objects I'm carrying? I hope that he can. I hope I haven't missed an anti-ghost object. But you know, I ought to try the... what do the ghosts do if I just walk up? The two spirits are fooled by the black cloak and the large ruby ring that they're wearing. They slowly float away. Maybe you remind them of someone else. Sure glad that I just put those on earlier to see if they would do something for me in advance. And then forgot I was wearing them because the graphics aren't represented. I wonder if there's a... I guess I'll find out soon enough. What's like the... What do you... Because if you did... There's a backup plan to get past Charon. You can pay him with any of the treasures. Is there way past the ghosts if you haven't thought it through? I don't know. It's coming together rapidly. I was going to say, shouldn't Grandma be more upset? But it's kind of implied here that she's having an affair with Dracula, right? So she watched King Graham like take them, so she can see through the ruse. It's her granddaughter who has trouble seeing through obvious ruses. Okay. Just announce ourselves to Count Dracula as we invade his castle. Knock on the door, the sound echoes inside. There's no answer. Alright. So I'm thinking, my gut tells me that it might just be the case that you could get the drop on Dracula with the stake and the hammer, and that's the violent answer. And then the cross is just there as the non-violent answer. Yeah, that adds up. Just, if Dracula spent any time in wolf form while he was visiting, now there's wolf pheromones everywhere. The wolf just comes along. He's like, hey, is there another wolf here that I could hang out with or, do something with? And then he's like, oh, no. But I could eat this old lady. I could put her clothes on. That I'd feel pretty. This bed looks comfortable. And so on. Okay, here we go. Into the lair of Dracula. There are obvious limitations to how appealing a PC sound card soundtrack can ever be, but I think they did a pretty good job in this game. Helps that none of the music is like, you know, constant background music. It's all leitmotifs and particular themes. Alright, what do we got? Creepy castle. Cracks on the walls, cobwebs in the corners, a chilly draft runs through the halls. Look at, is that a shelf? A giant ladder? What is that? Nothing. Okay. Well, let's pick a direction and... Oh, whoops. Let's crank the speed back up to fast, which is actually the just right speed setting. This is the dingy dining room of the drafty old castle. Ants crawl among old bits of food. Dust covers a dilapidated tabletop. A delicious-looking smoked ham is on the table. Is this a trick ham? Gotta pick it up if I'm going to investigate it. Seems quite possible that the ham is a trap. Smoked ham has a wonderful, savory smell. It's hard to resist tasting it. It looks as though someone has taken a bite out of it. I am not going to taste the ham. I personally can resist it. I've been resisting tasting ham for about a decade and a half now. Oh good, a winding staircase. Let's put a pin in that. Just in case I don't want to steal a ham. Oh, an even worse staircase. In fact, we're not trying that one until we have a light source, huh? So let's go to the left. The longer I can put off climbing a staircase in King's Quest, the longer I will. Okay. Okay, I see your game, Count Dracula. This is like the Treehouse of Horror where Mr. Burns is a vampire. It's got the trap dungeon stairs that turn into a slide. There's a ramp spiraling up toward the top of a gloomy tower. A torch blazes on the wall. Well, okay. Try this first because I want that torch if I can get it. Alright, it's not a sliding down ramp. And it's actually pretty navigable. Can I have the torch? Torch is firmly attached to the wall. Try as you might, you cannot budge it. Can I pull on it like a switch? I guess not. Huh. Those suggestions are just rejected outright. Game's not even going to waste any time explaining to me that no, you can't do that. Oh hey, it's Dracula's bedroom? This seems perilous. The musty bedchamber is at the top of a tower. It has the smell of mold and old mothballs. There's a sagging bed and an old dresser in the room. So I guess sometimes Grandma comes over to visit Count Dracula. Ho 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 ho. Dresser. Look in dresser. Open dresser? There's a candle lying in the drawer. Perfect. Pick it up and carry it with you. Look at the candle. Look at this candle. It's unlit, but I can probably light it on that torch on the way back down. Look at bed. Bed is lumpy and sagging in the middle. Yep, there you go. Faded old quilt covers it. Look under quilt. Hope Dracula's not just laying there. The indentation in the middle of the bed is what he uses instead of a coffin. Take quilt? Quilt is old and tattered. You wouldn't want it. search the bed? You don't understand search. Okay. I'll come back to that. There. Candle is lit. Well, guess I'll head to the basement stairs and see if they are illuminated by the candle. Seems likely. Things are going great. It's all coming together. Here we go. I can work with this. I can work with this at fast speed. Though it would be great. Hold on. Can I use the... No. Wait. What if I switch the numlock? Game changer. I can use the numpad and actually just walk diagonally. Okay. So that's a situation. Foul odor comes from the doorway to the west. Next time that rat comes out, if it does. You don't see a rat. You hear scurrying sounds coming from the cracks in the wall. No, I see a rat. Or is that a mouse? No. Okay. Do I have anything? Well, hold on. Is the rat going to bite me and poison me? No. There's a beautiful ornate coffin to one side of this dreadful room. Dust is everywhere. Cobwebs fill the corners, and a sickly odor permeates the air. Is Dracula in the coffin? At this distance, the candle doesn't give enough light. Well, this seems risky, but... Trembling with fear, you peer into the ornate coffin. Finding it unoccupied, you see the interior is lined with shiny red satin. A red satin pillow lies on one end. Can I take it? You remove the shiny red pillow from the coffin. Lo and behold, a large gold key was under the pillow. Okay. Haven't even searched the whole place. Kind of feels like my work might be done here. And yet, it seems too easy if Dracula never shows up. He's not in his coffin. And there's a whole other part of the castle. So I ought to take a look. Look at this. Thank you very much, numpad 7. Let's see what the numpad can do for me with the most intimidating looking of the staircases. Oh, we're golden. There's a stairway. There's a torch. Is this just another place to get a candle? Not if you're dead. Yeah. I think I tried it at one point in King's Quest and it typed a number and I gave up. And then this time I thought, hold on. What if I turn off the numlock? And it turns out that did the trick, which is cool. Okay. This part isn't easy. Alright. Gonna have to save myself some time here by making a save before I attempt the visually unclear part. Okay. Perfect. And there's a treasure. There's not much here at the top of the tower, but an aging chest against the wall. Dusty old chest is closed. Well, sure. The old chest is locked. You need to unlock it. Okay. You do not have the key that will unlock this old chest. Okay. Well. My gut tells me it's not important. But that's no reason not to play around a little and see if we can find a key. And one thought that occurs to me. No reason to do that. Not even to win the friendship of the rat so he will give me a key that he's been hoarding? Oh, what about the pillow? Okay. Can I tear the pillow open? No. Can I open the pillow? No. What might this rat like that I have? Okay. I don't see why this... I don't see a rat. Yes, I do. Weird. Does Dracula appear sometimes when I go in this place? Doesn't seem like it. Unless I go closer and he pops over the coffin and gets me. I think it's probably bad for me, but what if I eat the ham? It's delicious. Hit the spot. That's it. Well, no, then. Okay. Where could I possibly hope to find a little key? What if it's taped to the bottom of the table? No. Nope. Okay. Count Dracula's here. Run before it's too late, but I'm caught. But I've got the cross. He's terrified of the cross. Transforms into a bat and flies away. Does he drop a key? No luck, but okay. Look for key. No, that's just the key that I have. Okay. I'll check the bedroom one last time. Why not? The points aren't really the main thing, but if I can get some extra points for finding another treasure, you know, the more cool bridal gifts you can offer to the girl you saved from the tower. Look under the bed. Jump on the bed. Look at bed. Look at quilt. Look at bed frame. No. Look at dresser. Several drawers. Okay. Can I open other drawers? No. Can't even close the drawer. Alright, well. I am curious. I'm not so curious. That I want to do anything about it. Gotta evade the thorns again, huh? Or, hold on. Oh, evil forces will prevent me from just using the carpet to get out of here. And I'm dead. Well. There's nothing to do. Well, there might be, but this seems like the thing to do. Here's the tricky part, ultimately. It's just right here. One too many down steps there. I was on the plane, I think. There we go. Oh, come on. Come on. Kidding me with this shit. It's okay. It's okay. That's how we do it. Well, I'm still looking like old Count D. Bedev! Hey, long time no see. How you doing? I'm playing some King's Quest here, and it's all coming together very quickly. Getting the boat. Shrouded Fiend paddles back. You just missed Dracula's castle, which went extremely smoothly, except I didn't bother figuring out, and I might come to regret that if it turns out to be important, the one mysterious locked treasure chest. I guess we'll find out. It might just be a points thing. Just another piece of jewelry with a lot of sapphires and emeralds. Fairy spells worn off. I think we'll be okay. But I figured out there's diagonal walking with the numpad. That's a game changer with the stairs, I'll tell you. Oh, sweet. Get my fairy protection back. That particular sound effect makes me think of Kid Icarus for some reason. I don't even know there's a particular sound effect like that in Kid Icarus, but something about it. Might just be because I was playing Kid Icarus this week. As one does. Okay, let's run that one back. Give that a second attempt. Yeah. She got me twice now with the walking up from directly below the rickety bridge screen. Okay. Oh, and I got the speed at Thorn navigation speed. Oh yeah, you're just constantly dying. This game, if anything, is gentler. In King's Quest 1, just outside of the castle where you have to go to talk to the king to even get your quest at the start, there are 2 bridges over the moat that just like the where you can actually walk on them is super unintuitive, and if you fall in the moat, you're immediately eaten by alligators. I just gotta remember, approach the bridge from the west. For real. Yeah, she had definitely... We're in a totally different place from the Lucasfilm, or the LucasArts approach to adventure game design. Shouldn't be possible to die. As opposed to, it shouldn't be possible. Let your guard down for an instant without dying. And this might cap it off for us. Oh, a little dwarf likes to steal. Guess what, buddy? You've got the fairy's protection. Joke's on you. The only person stealing is me from you, because I did steal the dwarf's soup and something from his treasure chest. But he would have done it to me, so I don't feel bad. She's been down since day 1. Okay. Are there more puzzles, or do I just go, like, is the tower its own area, or do I just get to the tower and I get the girl? Let's find out. The key to the 3rd door fits easily into the keyhole. You turn the door and presto! The door opens, and again the key disappears. ... revealing a world unlike any you have ever seen before. Woo! Very pretty in this mysterious place. All right. 41 points left on the board. I'm going to earn some of them in the process of finishing up. I think I'll end up with a better overall percentage score than I did in King's Quest 1. Certainly in absolute points, but that's just because there's more points available. Wait, I should have used the look command. The sand on the sparkling beach is deep blue. The bright sunlight from a gorgeous pink sky dances across it. Cliffs tower above the beach. What about here? Same story. This is looking to me like a perspective trick. I don't know, but no. Thought maybe there's a cave right here. Maybe not. No. Look at cliffs. They're unclimbable. She's not allowed to ride the carpet. You already solved a puzzle with the carpet. It's useless now. The rocks are drab. Okay. What about the sand? I mean, it's blue. Okay. Well, see if I can go up. Actually, it looks like I can go up. I think I misread this earlier when I thought it was blocking off. It's just doing perspective. Oh yeah, this seems more significant. The sand is... okay. And there's a fishing net in a pile on the beach. Well. Can I have this net? Sure can. One more point. Only 40 left to go. Probably won't get them all. Look at waterfall. The lavender waterfall tumbles down from the towering blue cliffs. Beautiful stuff. The rocks are just regular. Fishing net is fashioned from a material that's unfamiliar to you. It's smooth and tangle-proof. Do I need to fish something up with it? You fish and fish and fish. However, no matter how hard you try, you don't seem to be able to catch anything. Okay. Well, there's also a third screen that was just sitting there. Catching nothing? Wait. No. Hey, at least it leaves no ambiguity, right? It doesn't leave you thinking like, what am I supposed to do to get the carpet to work here? It's like, okay, fine. It's a dead item. I get it. Can I fish from here? No. Could I fish from here? No. What else do I have? What do I have that has not done anything yet? The fishing net? The clamshell, maybe? Or maybe just the whole thing the clamshell was doing is when you pick it up, you find the thing underneath it. The mallet and the stake, but those just seem like they're probably to kill Dracula if you haven't put on the cross. Got the ham. Bait the net with ham. But I don't actually... That doesn't actually feel like it'll work. What if it's just that there's a, pass through the waterfall, there's a cave behind it? And the fishing net is not a thing yet. You can try to go there. That's what I'm doing. I look from right up close. Okay. No. Okay. Well. Can't swim in the lavender sea. Oh. Okay. You cast the fishing net in the wild sea. Upon retrieving it, you see you've caught a large golden fish. It falls from the net and flops helplessly on the beach. Take fish. Can't reach it. Take fish. You grab the flopping fish. Its mouth is wide open and its gills are extended. With difficulty, you hold the fish as it twists and turns in your hands. You throw the poor gasping fish back into the iridescent water. I had a feeling. This is a magic fish and I help it. Gratefully, it calls to you. In return for saving my life, I wish to offer you a ride across this ocean. Are you going to a tower by any chance? Is that what's on the other side of the ocean? I feel bad in the sense that I did help him by throwing him back in the water. But I also am the one who pulled him out of the water and put his life in danger in the first place. And yet... Well, maybe it's tricking me. Takes me out in the water, drowns me. There you go, asshole. Catch me in a friggin' net. This is awesome. Brilliant. You can see that the island is really quite small. The foliage is remarkable though. Plants and flowers have overgrown it, some growing very large in contrast to the tiny island. The island is completely overgrown with foliage. Huge leaves, flowers, and clinging vines are everywhere. This place is lovely. We get honeymoon here. if she wasn't sick of it on account of having been imprisoned in this tower all this time. A glint of metal catches your eye. You look toward the direction of the glint and see an amulet lying on the ground. You didn't have to work for that puzzle. Well, hold on. Before I take the amulet, let's look at it. Let's take it. Fine. Got the amulet. Aha! You examine the amulet. It's made of bronze that is tarnished with age. A tiger's eye stone is embedded into the front. You turn the amulet over and see the word home engraved on the back. I wonder if once we find Milady, that the way back will be to say the word home or to put on the amulet of home and, click our heels and dream of home. Graham has to describe Daventry very clearly to his lady. Okay, well, there's the tower, but let's assume that the tower is the end goal. Small island offshore has only a few bushes and one large tree growing on it, and probably I can't get there. And yet, too difficult to climb because they're enormous size. I mean, yeah, okay, sure, the redwoods, an enormous tree, and also there aren't any branches or limbs for a while. Hard to climb, unless you have climbing gear, in which case I guess it's easy. It's really thick bark. Shining, shimmering, splendid. No, okay. Now, there's no gimmick of getting to that island, or if there is, it's not about swimming to it. Let's finish navigating the rest of this island. So this game is bigger than the first game because of the size of its sub-areas, even though its main world is only one screen larger. Hey, there's the island again. Ah, that looked like water, but it's just a patch of blue sand beside the golden sand. And yeah. Well. It's going to cut this off. So there's no point in making the save game name that long. No comment on the tower, huh? Tower is built of creamy, opaque quartz blocks. See a tiny window near the top. A delicate hand waving a hanky appears from the window. That's promising. I gotta use the washroom. Drinking a lot of tea. So I'm gonna do that so that I'm focused as we approach the climax. Hang tight, gang. All right. Big moment. We're going to enter the tower. That worked. Oh. Graham's final great challenge. But thanks. Okay, this turned out to be pretty easy. Be careful. There's a huge lion, tripping fangs at the top of the stairs. He's a hungry look in his eye. Does he like ham? Hungrily, the lion gobbles down the smoked ham and then falls fast asleep. That one was very intuitive. Can I just say open the door? Actually, let me look around. Yep. Yep. You have found her! The girl from the magic mirror. She is even more beautiful than you had imagined. Hey! If I was imprisoned in this tower personally, and I just had this dress to wear, I think I would modify it so that I didn't have to hold the skirt up when I was walking around. The room at the top of the tower is very tiny. You are angered at the thought of Valenice. Perhaps the mirror in the longer form of the story told me her name was Valenice, because we have not spoken yet. But yeah. My name is Valenice. What is your name? I'm King Graham. Yeah, British. I have played some F-Zero 99 so far. Not yesterday it got out of hand and I played for like longer than I should have. But generally I've been trying to be pretty responsible and just play a few races. If it's Grand Prix time, hop in the Grand Prix. It's fun. I'm really liking it so far. I assume their plan is like on a weekly basis they'll cycle different tracks into the selection for standard races, because right now there's only it's like Mute City, Big Blue, Sand Ocean, and Deathwind 1 are the only 4 tracks that ever come up. They give you 2 options and everybody votes. I'm King Graham. Oh, Graham, I am forever grateful to you. Hell yeah. So anyway, no time for small talk. Do you want some jewelry? I brought you lots of jewelry. Okay, let's see. Do you want the home amulet or should I? You murmur the word home. A tingling sensation envelops your body. You black out for a second. When you come to, you see you are somewhere else. Congratulations, King Graham. You have won the hand of beautiful Valenice. May you two live happily ever after. Is it all the characters from King's Quest 1? Like the people who are actually from Daventry? And from this game, there's Dracula and Agatha, the Mermaid, King Neptune, a dragon. Don't think we met that dragon. The shark. Didn't even have a role in the story. The wolf. The monk declares you man and wife. Oh, and they all traveled. It's a destination wedding. We got married in Colima. There's the dwarf, the enchanter, and the giant. I like the grandma and Red Riding Hood are in the same pew as the wolf. And then is that the king and queen of Colima? They came to the royal wedding? Makes sense. If you've enjoyed this game, please ask your dealer about the availability of King's Quest 3. To err is human. To really foul things up takes a computer. Thank you from the King's Quest development team. Ken, Roberta, Saul, Jeff, Chris, Scott, Doug, Mark, Al, Dale, and Emo. Thank you from the King's Quest quality assurance team. Larry, Susan, Russ, Bob, and Kim. Thank you from the King's Quest development team. Are we just cycling now? Yep. Okay. We're done. King's Quest 2 was designed by Roberta Williams. 166 out of 185, which I feel pretty good about. Let me just do a quick... Oh, turn my numlock off. I opened up my calculator. No. Oh. There. 89.73% of the points. So just shy of an A+. But as I often encourage my students to think, when you do really, really well, you shouldn't, force yourself to feel bad that you didn't do perfectly. You should be glad you did well. All of that said, no student who's like round this up to an A+ is satisfied by that explanation. But we gotta have rules. I've tweaked my grading systems over the years, and one benefit of as I've refined them has been that fewer people wind up with like 89.7. The grading system's a little bit better at giving a strong A+. When you just explain some standards to markers, they tend to mark heavily in a band where most assignments are getting in the like A- range, because they don't want to give too much credit if they don't feel like they can articulate why they are doing that, and they don't want to give a bad grade, which to the kind of student who's taken a job as a marker is a B+. And so it tends to be like the really good ones get an 85 and the really bad ones get an 81, and then the rest are on the spectrum in between. Yeah. Okay. King's Quest 2. Points. King's Quest 2 point list. On SierraHelp.com. Okay. It won't provide a secure connection. And Google, which normally will let you take the risk, won't let me do it. So let's go to Game Facts. We're good. Okay, here's the point list. Let's check this out. See what I missed. Take trident, take bracelet, take stake, take necklace, open mailbox, take the goodies from the mailbox, give them to Red Riding Hood, take the soup, take the earrings, give the soup to grandma, look under the bed, take the mallet, pray in church, tell monk Graham, which I believe I did when he asked me my name, wear cross, look into tree hole, take brooch, cross bridge 7 times. I've done all these. Give flowers to mermaid, ride seahorse, give trident to Neptune, take key from clam. Well, I don't think I did that. And it seems quite likely that if there's a key in there, then that would open the chest. So let's keep going. Unlock first door. Take cloth from bottle. Done. Put cloth over birdcage. Okay. 2 points for that. But why? Is that a way, like, can I sneak in when Hagatha's home and steal the bird if I just remember to cover it? Because that hardly seems necessary when Hagatha's usually not home, and if she is, you just leave and come back a couple times. Alright. Take birdcage. Give the bird to shopkeeper. Rub the lamp 3 times. Ride the magic carpet to the cliff. Throw the bridle on the snake. Talk to Pegasus. Don't think I talked to the Pegasus. Take the key from the cliff cave. Yeah. Unlock second door. Wear the ruby ring. Wear the cloak. Eat a sugar cube. Okay. I'll need to dig down. We'll have to look at a walkthrough to find out what the hell the sugar cube was supposed to be for. Take candle. Light the candle on the torch. Take the meat. Kill Dracula. Oh, would he have gone back to his coffin after I scared him away? I guess the violent solution is right when it's killing Dracula. Okay, the sugar cube. Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out very soon. Take the silver key from the coffin. Take the golden key from the coffin. Oh. There were just 2 keys in the coffin. Take tiara. That's probably the treasure in the thing. 7 points for that. Ah, man. I wish I'd had that sugar cube. That would have saved us a very small amount of time, but still would have saved time. Take the fishing net, catch the golden fish, throw the fish back, ride the fish across the ocean, take the amulet, feed the meat to the lion, open the door to the princess, return home. Okay. So, in total, the ones that I missed, each sugar cube, 1 point. Kill Dracula, 7 points. That's 8. Silver key would take it up to 10. The tiara would be 17. Talking to the Pegasus would make it 19. And that's all the points that I missed. Okay. Well then, I don't think I actually need to look up a walkthrough here. It feels intuitive that you would kiss the bride at the end and that would give you an extra point, but that just happened. I'm not even sure they animated that, but if it happened, it was just the wedding ceremony. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at a King's Quest II walkthrough. Could be. Okay. Well, looking at this walkthrough, there's no more detail about what would have made... Why didn't I notice a silver key in Dracula's castle? Like in his coffin. I don't know. But it wasn't there when I looked. Alright. Well. Good stuff. So, concluding thoughts are that King's Quest II is what video game sequels what the first video game sequel often is in a series, in an ongoing series. It is just King's Quest I refined, and much like Mega Man 2 or Street Fighter 2. Or second games in series that were made by Capcom. Much like if Nintendo ever does it, if they ever release ARMS 2, man, that's going to be a good game. But much like many of the great sequels of video games, it accomplishes being everything you liked about the first one, but the package feels a bit more like tightened up. Graphic technology exactly the same. The graphical style is basically exactly the same, but the graphics are way better. Because they were drawn either by someone who was better at drawing or by someone who had more time and had got a bit better at drawing since the first one. And so the game looked great. Okay, let's get this scroll to stop. Bring me back just tell us it was designed. There we go. But yeah, we had the same, get 3 objects to complete the quest structure. This time it was just 3 keys to a door. We had the roughly minor change to the map, which is that there's no wrapping around horizontally, but it still wraps vertically, and otherwise nothing different there, really. Nothing changed. Yeah. There were still some navigation tricks and puzzles, but they weren't as frustrating. Especially once I discovered the num keys working. But otherwise, a very similar, very familiar kind of just... There's some free-floating objects, and you gotta find all of them. Or at least most of them, because some of them are just treasures that are to give you points. And when you've found them, they will eventually... through fairy tale logic, get you through a few situations to get the 3 items that you need and complete the quest. The plot was a little more developed, but only a little. Yeah. But it was really good. This was a really fun experience. I enjoyed it a lot. And it wrapped up, faster than I might have expected. And I think, as tempting as it is, yeah, they took their time getting there. Or, I mean, they didn't take that much time getting there. Because, already, this is a far leap beyond what they did in King's Quest 1. But eventually, even within the EGA standard, we're going to get, King's Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire, with just some of the prettiest EGA graphics I've ever seen. And then, of course, the famous painterly style of the VGA or SVGA, whichever standard it was, starting with King's Quest 5, Quest for Glory 3, just stunningly beautiful games. And then, although I don't know if I've even ever seen a screenshot, I'm going to go on a limb and say, does King's Quest 8 look like dog shit? Did it all fall apart when they were forced beyond their competence to primitive 3D graphics in the late 90s? I bet. There's a strong temptation. They're good graphics. And, even when I was a kid, this was the thing I was aware of, that, the computer games, you could kind of tell, especially because, there were action games on computer. You could play Commander Keen, and it was fun, but you're like, there's something about this that is not as good as a Nintendo. Without even knowing, okay, yes, the Nintendo Entertainment System is a machine that is literally built to be good at animating sprites and having fairly fluid motion and action, with various sacrifices in graphics. But then you would look at something, even, like Space Quest, and be like, okay, there's more drawing, it feels like, going on, even if you can't articulate it, than in an S game. And why? And so definitely, going forward, yeah, when a lot of your screen is there to be decorative, but also engaging, what about this picture is a clue about what I can do in this picture and what I can mess with. You can devote a lot more time, and you must, I guess, to making the graphics pretty. And they really are just very, very pretty even now in King's Quest 2. And I assume they'll only get better. Do I? I got a little time. I could keep going. Am I talking myself into it, or am I not? I think I am. Here's what I'm going to do. I won't have much time. I got more than 0. Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Hold on. Oh, cool. Makes sense. This is what they do. They push the boundaries. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say all my goodbye stuff and end the stream. But then from the thanks for watching screen, I'm going to go back to the starting soon screen, swap in the King's Quest 3 to Air is Human box. And then I'm going to get that game installed while the song plays. And I'll look at the manual to see if there's anything important there. And I won't have much time, but we'll take our first steps in King's Quest 3 to Air is Human. Why not? I got a little time, like I said. Not a ton, but more than 0. So let's do that. If that's interesting to you, then remember, don't be fooled when I say goodbye to you, because I'll be right back. But yeah. And there's no reason to plug everything that's coming. Anyone who sticks around will get the message at the real end. So, hey, if you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice, but I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time that we're on some kind of quest for or by or as some kind of king, take care of yourselves, and be kind to everyone you meet.